Welcome back to Trogly's Guitars, Troglodytes! Today we have one from the wild man himself, a Zakk Wylde Les Paul Signature Custom. I've had, I think, 2 or 3 of these, and they are fantastic guitars. Unfortunately, I'm not a huge Zakk Wylde fan. I do appreciate his playing style, but I don't know a lot about him. But I do know that I do like his Bullseye Custom. I think it is very cool. Something about signature guitars make you want to play like that player. I remember the first one of these I got, I was just really motivated to play a bunch of pinch harmonics. But these guitars are very cool, and Zakk Wylde has recently released his own line of guitars, so these things never to be produced again unless he gives up his guitar dream, but I don't think he will. So yes, there are cheaper versions of Bullseye guitars out there, but as far as a Les Paul Custom goes, how many are out there now is as many as there ever will be, short of people refinishing their guitar like this. So his Bullseye Custom, I believe, was a 1983 originally, but I think he had a few of them refinished in that color. And from there, it just became history. This kind of became one of his signature guitars. I know he has a few different designs. He's got some a modern of Doom and things like that, but this is what I always associate Zakk Wylde with. So now that he has his own guitar company, these aren't being produced again, so they're kind of becoming even more collectible. This is kind of an interesting guitar. I would say it's kind of similar to like a 68 reissue. It's got a long neck tenon that kind of separates it from a regular Les Paul Custom, but it has a maple neck on it, akin to his 80s one, which means his was probably an earlier than 83. It might be an 81 or 82 now that I think about it, to still have the 3-piece maple neck. But they went ahead and did that on his signature. And you'll see that there is no finish on the back of the neck. There is kind of like a clear coat over it still, so it's not that raw wood feel, which is a little bit unfortunate, I think, because raw wood feels amazing when you're playing on a guitar. But this is kind of his signature guitar. You've got a Zakk Wylde there. And this is probably one of the most faked guitars out there ever. The way to tell it's real is obviously it'll have the long neck tenon. You've got EMG pickups, 81, 85. You're going to want to check for a Nashville bridge. They won't have a slot hole here. All the fake ones have slot holes. And you got to make sure the Les Paul shape is just right. Obviously the custom emblem will be smaller usually, and the font on the truss rod cover is usually way off. And you want to check right here. If your binding from the neck kind of goes up here and meets directly with this binding, that's how you know it's a fake. And usually the Zakk Wylde will be a smaller guy too. This will just be wrong. In the later years that these were produced, they kind of changed the design, and I prefer these earlier ones because they have a black stripe here, whereas some of the later made ones, it actually ends on white. So just because yours doesn't 100% match this exact scheme does not mean it's not authentic, but it's definitely a cause for concern, so definitely check that out with some other ones. Now, these are going to have the stock EMG tiny little pots, so if you're trying to authenticate yours, just because it has tiny pots doesn't mean it's fake. Something else you want to check for is the cavity's routed a little bit differently. They have what they call the 4-leaf clover shape, so definitely take a look at this photo here of how it should look. So that's kind of some pointers to tell if your guitar is real. Unfortunately, this one does not have the certificate of authenticity, but because of the reasons I just showed you, it is an authentic one. It's got the original case and all that. So enough about the history about this guitar. Let's take a look at its condition. You can see the face of the headstock's in good shape. This was a player's guitar. It's got some very light string change wear, but overall nothing too incredibly bad. I note a small smudge right there that would probably just polish off alright. We've got the cool brass looking Les Paul custom truss rod cover. You have your original nut on this one with an ebony fretboard. The frets are in good shape on this one. Obviously this one was clean because I did a video while I was cleaning this one. You can check that out right at the top of the screen here. And no major fret wear to really talk about, no grooves in the fretboard, it was just oiled and all that. Onto the body. The body is in good shape. Obviously you do have some very light scratches and just average playing wear, but nothing too incredibly bad on the top really. You've got your original speed knobs, and these came stock without a poker chip, so you can see more of the bullseye. But something I do want to point out is there is a very tiny like little red blemish right here. It looks like a small ding. The lacquer has just changed colors or something. I'm not 100% sure what that is, but it is a small blemish there. Back of the headstock, serial number ZW stands for Zakk Wylde 94-1. So I believe that makes it a 2009, first made that year. No major nicks or dings on the top of the headstock or anything like that. Average light play wear, but overall this guitar is in good shape. There is a small blemish here on the neck I want to go over. It's right here. The clear coat over this must have chipped a little bit, and over the years some dirt and grime has got built up on it, so it's kind of stained the maple neck a little bit. It looks like it's got some stand rash right there, so that the stand probably chipped it somehow. But other than that, this guitar is pretty clean. Nice 3-piece maple neck. Some very light impressions on this side, but honestly, it's got some decent figuring in it. I mean, it's not, I wouldn't call this a flamed neck by any means, but it's definitely a very nice guitar. The back of the guitar does have some very light wear and tear. I noticed a few marks kind of in this area that I'll try to show, because I noticed that they don't show up on camera very well. So I'm trying to be as honest about the condition as possible here. There you can kind of see those lines I was talking about a little better. Now the sides of the guitar do have some wear and tear, as I'll demonstrate here. Mainly on this side, right where it rests against your leg. You can see somebody had some rivets or something that really impressed into the finish, but didn't, destroy it by any means. And then towards the bottom, similar to on the neck, you do have some very minor stand rash wear. I think every Les Paul custom of Zakk Wylde has had that. I don't know. These are just great playing guitars. You don't find too many of these in like perfect collector condition, because people who get these guitars, they play them because they're awesome. Take a quick look under blacklight. Once again, not too much is going to show on this modern guitar, but at least show us if something was refinished. Everything is good on the top. We'll take a look at that small blemish there. It looks like everything's good on the back. Here you can kind of see that finish wear area a little bit better. And you can also see the 3-piece neck a lot more clearly. So, no major wear and tear. It looks like you've got some guy sweat there. That kind of makes it glow a little bit more because the finish is slightly worn away. But other than that, nothing too bad. So this is definitely a gig guitar. I will tell you, it did have some black marks here when I first bought it, but luckily I was able to polish those out to make this one look more clean. Good guitar overall. This Zakk Wylde Les Paul Custom weighs 10 pounds, 5.1 ounces. This does come with its original Gibson custom case. And I've been saying it a lot about these cases. I really do enjoy these. You've got your typical white smudge marks. This was definitely a gigged case. It is by no means mint condition, but it's fully functional. All, I believe, 5 latches are here. And your handle. But unfortunately, you do not have the certificate of authenticity on this one, which, what's good for you is you don't have to spend quite as much on it because of a large piece of paper that was lost. Looks like it's a 2006, not 2009 as said earlier, but you do have some original paperwork here, and that, as long as you have that, you're in pretty good shape. The interior is a nice dark burgundy, and it really does form fit to the guitar. These are fantastic cases. interested in this guitar, unfortunately for you, it's already been sold, but feel free to contact me on my Facebook page if you'd like me to find you another one. Alright, Troglodytes, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Take care.